It's a great crowd. Okay, thank you. Fantastic crowd. Really amazing. Okay, questions?
So the U.S. raised its flag in Cuba today, and critics have said that by opening the door to Cuba, you're not necessarily opening it to democracy. Do you agree with President Obama?
And beyond. Okay, was it worth it? We have nothing. We have nothing over there. His brother made a horrible decision, and President Obama made a horrible decision the way he left. And when he left, he should have taken the oil instead of giving it to ISIS and Iran. And you know who the primary beneficiary of the oil is? China. China's taking out so much oil. And I said, you shouldn't have gone in, but once you went into Iraq, you should have never, in a million years, you should have never just, I mean, you go in, you never won. You never won. But what a mistake Iraq was. And I heard Jeb Bush talking about it. First of all, it took him 5 days before he could give an answer. And after the pollsters told him what to say, he said it was bad. Now he's trying to backtrack, probably because his brother said, hey, wait a minute, you're killing me here. You said it's bad. That's my legacy, the Iraq War. The Iraq War is a disaster for the Bushes. That's why the last thing, the ones I don't get along with, they're going to have to pay. We have to make our country great again. And we're not doing it. We're going in the wrong direction. We're going like this. Laughing stock. We're a laughing stock all over the world. Okay? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Trump, we're in New Hampshire, a state with a huge heroin problem. How do we
Yeah.
solve it?
New Hampshire has a huge heroin problem. I mean, per capita, the biggest in the whole country. Nobody would know that. But New Hampshire has a huge heroin problem.
How do we solve it?
Education, working hard. You have to get people to understand the problems. It starts probably with OxyContin, from what I'm hearing. And you have to educate, and you have to do something very strong. But it does have a big problem. I've been hearing it from everybody. Bigger per capita than any place else. Yes, ma'am.
When are we going to start to see you roll out specific policy ideas
It'll be
on
very soon.
immigration jobs?
Yeah.
How soon?
I mean, I have
Couple
some
days,
of
couple
the
weeks?
most brilliant people in the country working on tax, which I'm involved in very much because I understand the system very well, probably better than anybody that's ever run for office, if you want to know the truth, because I am part of the system. But we have some amazing people working on immigration. So I would say over the next 2 or 3 weeks, probably sometime during September.
Mr. Trump, are you worried about what Putin's done over in Ukraine and the Crimean
So
Peninsula?
Ukraine is a problem. But at some point, don't you think that the countries of Europe should be a little bit more involved than they are? We're leading all these fights, and Ukraine is a big problem. Germany is a very rich, powerful country. Germany. Economically, tremendous power. Tremendous, unbelievable, unleashed economic power. Why isn't Germany? Why, do we have to lead every fight? So Ukraine is a problem, and we should help them. But let Germany and other countries over there that are directly affected, let them work it. We've got enough problems in this country. We have to rebuild our country. China and other countries have drained us. China has created the greatest theft in the history of the United States. I mean, if you think about it, it's the greatest theft in the history of the United States. The money they've taken out from us. It's a one-way street. So we have enough problems. Now, we back our folks, and we back our friends, and we want them to straighten out Ukraine. And I want to see it straightened out also. But don't you think maybe Germany and those countries directly affected should be fighting? It's almost like they don't even care. They don't even care.
But you still think you'd get along with Mr. Putin,
I
even
think
though
I'd get along
they've been
great
so
with him.
aggressive with their
I
foreign
think I'd
policy?
get along great with him. Who knows? But I think I'd get along great with him.
Trump.
The man.
How you doing?
How are you?
Rand Paul just spent 3 days here in New Hampshire, and he spent all this time criticizing you. What
Well,
did
that's
you do to
because,
piss him
yeah.
off?
Now, Rand Paul, you have to understand, is a disaster in the polls. He's a disaster on military and defense. He's getting decimated by everybody. And other than giving him a lot of money for an eye center, at his request, he asked me, could I have money? I said, absolutely, because I thought it was worthwhile. But I gave him a lot of money for an eye center, which is very hypocritical when you think of it. But other than giving him a tremendous amount of money for his eye center, which I'm happy about, frankly, because I'm sure they do good work. I hope they do good work. He is doing so badly that he figured he has to go out and attack Trump because I'm leading by a lot everywhere. And I don't mind. I think he's never going to make it. Never going to make it. Can't make it. Got the wrong message. I mean, this is not a time to be weak on defense. Okay? And I'm the opposite. I want to make our military so strong, so powerful, so great that nobody's going to mess with us. And I want to take care of our vets who are treated like third-class citizens. You know, 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, our vets, as you know, and you probably reported on it, because you have a big problem here with vets that are not taken care of properly. Our vets had the longest wait in the history of the VA. Took a lot of heat that first week and a half. A lot of heat. They called it incoming from you people, incoming. Now so many people have apologized to me, and it's become a mainstay of everybody's campaign. The problem is they don't know what to do about it. I do. I know how to solve it. You okay? Jeb Bush said that on women's health issues, he won't fund them. Whose phone is it? You ready? Third time. You ready? Jeb Bush said that on women's health issues, he won't fund them. Then he said, oh, I misspoke. I'm so sorry. I cherish women. Women will be taken care of better with a President Trump than anybody else, Republican or Democrat, anybody else. And, you know, you can look at my company. I have many women executives. They make, in many cases, more money. Because the second question, how many do you have? Many. And I'm going to be introducing them over a period of time, too. They're unbelievable executives. And they're paid almost, I think they're paid more. We're looking into it. We're studying a lot of traction.
In New Hampshire, what do you think that says about what voters are looking for? What do you think about that?
Well, they're looking for real change. You know, Obama said they're looking for change. And, oy, look what we got. We got change. But they're looking for something different than what they have. And, you know, Bernie Sanders is not going to end up being the standard, but certainly he and I are getting by far the biggest crowds. I mean, look at the crowd tonight. Other people have 51 people, 54 people. We have 2,500 people, and 1,000 people or more than that are standing outside listening to microphones. So, and loudspeakers. So we have, you know, we've had tremendous crowds. I had 15,000 in Phoenix. We've had, you know, every crowd is a record crowd. Every crowd is totally sold out. And he's done the same thing on the other side with a very different philosophy. I don't think so. Look, I built a net worth of more than $10 billion. I've been a world-class businessman. All over the world I built. I have some of the great assets of the world. And that's the thinking. I don't say that in a braggadocious way. That's the thinking that our country needs to take our jobs back from China and Japan and Mexico and clean up the border, by the way, speaking of Mexico. But that's the kind of thinking we need to take back our jobs, bring back our money, bring back our manufacturing. You take a look at China, what they've done. They've taken our money, our jobs, our base, our manufacturing, and we owe them $1.4 trillion. That's like a magic act. They've taken everything, and we owe them money as a system. But Jeb has raised $114 million, approximately. Everybody that puts money up for Jeb Bush, it's like he's a puppet. He's totally controlled by these people. Jeb Bush is controlled by the people that put up the money. And so are the other candidates. I don't want money from people, other than small donations, because I have so many people writing. One woman sent $7, another one sent $20. I love that where they invest in my campaign. They invest. I don't want that for the money. I want that because psychologically I think it's great. But Jeb Bush has $114 million. What's he going to do with it? He'll start hitting me with ads, I guess. You know, at some point he's got to, because he's going down the tubes. The guy's going down the tubes. There's no energy. So when Jeb and Hillary and all of these other candidates start spending money, remember this: that money was given by people that have total control over it. And those people, many of whom I know very well, they don't care about him, they don't care about the color of his hair, they don't care anything about him. And they don't care about the country, in many cases. They only want whatever they want, and they'll get plenty. Yes,
Are you for
Many of the
campaign
people
finance
who have,
reform?
many of the people who
Yeah.
have contributed,
Well, tell me
we
about
don't
that.
know who they are. Would you call on Jeb Bush to have his PAC release the names of the donors?
they should release the names of the donors. I think we should be much more open, talking about campaign finance. I think we should be much more open. If somebody contributes a lot of money, we should know who those people are.
One more
What about
question.
Citizens United? Did you think that was a bad decision? Did you agree with it?
Well, it's not a great decision for me, and they're friends of mine, David Bossie, they're friends of mine, because I'm putting up my own money. So here you have other people putting up money into other campaigns where they'll have total control. 100%, Katie, they will have control of those people that are running for office. One of the reasons I've done so well at the polls is because everyone knows I'm not going to be controlled. I'm going to do what's right for the country. No lobbyists. I have all these lobbyists. They know, I know them all. I've hired many of them over the years. They're very good. But when they give $1 million or $5 million to Jeb Bush, they have total control over him. He will do like a puppet, whatever they say, with no. And I will tell you this nonsense with PACs where they have millions of dollars raised, $100 million raised, and they don't coordinate with the other people. I mean, Bush puts his best friend in there. They don't talk. You're not allowed to talk. Do you really believe that that doesn't?
What is your opinion of Al Gore and Joe Biden?
Well, I think that they'll be probably involved at some point because there's a lot of pressure on Hillary right now. It's been brutal. It's been brutal for Hillary. And I think at some point she's perhaps not going to be able to run. She's going to have to end her campaign. That seems to be the thinking by so many. And I was saying that 2 months ago, and everyone thought, what are you know, not right, but it looks to me like what they've done. This is top secret stuff. Look, General Petraeus, his life was destroyed with a tiny fraction of what she's done. So it's very unfair to him if they're going to destroy him over doing, by comparison, nothing. I don't see how she can run. I think she's got much bigger problems than running for office. Yes, ma'am.
You talk about how
Or how much
giving,
longer?
It's last question,
Okay,
sir.
last
A lot of
question.
people waiting to see you.
We'll do 2 more questions.
you
Go
were
ahead.
saying about giving these donations is bad for the country. Does that mean when you were giving these donations to politicians, you were doing something bad for the country?
No, I don't think donations, when people don't, and I like him, and I like David Bossie, who's the head of it all. I love him. I think he's a great guy. But to me, that doesn't help because I'm spending my own money. Okay? So on a personal basis, I don't love it. I think there should be better transparency. And I think when the money comes in, you should be able to use the money to do what you want, because that's what they do anyway. Everybody does it, unfortunately, not us, because I'm not doing it. But these candidates are doing it illegally, because they're telling the people that are running the PACs exactly what to do. And if anybody thinks they're not, they're children.
Are you looking forward to jury duty next week?
I'll be doing jury duty. Can you believe I'll be doing jury duty on Monday morning? I knew you'd ask me that question. I will be doing jury duty on Monday morning in
Is
New
it
York City.
criminal court or district court?
I don't know. It's one of the courts.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's fun.
Regarding specifics on policy, why not have that stuff rolled out?
It's going to be rolled out.